hopefully y'all find it. It's back up live on my channel. This one, the last one, I don't know what happened. Hopefully, whoever was here can see it. I've got the microphones working. We're live. That sucked. Whatever happened with my foot, it was crazy. I'm sorry, everybody. All right, back on to YouTube. Oh. I don't know what happened, Walker. It was all of a sudden it was just gone. It was my big fat fingers, I'm sure. So let's make sure YouTube is running. Get there, go. I'm sure the other one that I advertised. What is going on? All right. All right. There it is live. It says it's live. There's one person here. All right. Uh-huh. What is that? That is horrible. Oh my God. It looks like I got crap on the screen. Let's see if I can. I should have a microfiber here. I think I do. Do I have a micro? I did the one time. That's good enough. And that is not the greatest angle. And I'm going to drop her down. There we go. Let's clean that screen. Okay. There we go. All right. We're almost ready. I'm sorry, everybody. There we go. I'm in there. Oh, that was frustrating. Yeah, Walker. I don't know why it's all blurry, but let's hope that's working. Let's see. Knob Creek Live. I don't know. All right. Let's fast forward. Skip to live. Okay, that's the other live. Where's the new live? All right. I got to load. I got to reload this whole thing. Go out of it, come back in, YouTube. I should be live. Let's see. It looks like the other one has overridden this one. Let's go back. I mean, welcome to live chat. Welcome. Boom, 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 boom. It should get me to go live. Nope. Liked videos. There it is. It's up. Hey, Marcus Paul. Hey, everybody. Sorry about that. I'm pretty sure it's working now. I was just trying to get this to go. Welcome. There it is. All right. Sorry. We got it. All right. Let me do the welcome. it is. Okay, let me do the welcome. Hey, I was supposed to do the welcome there. Oh my God. Let's go to live. Skip to live. My God. Welcome, everybody. Please let me know what you're sipping on and where you're from. All right, tonight we're doing. All right, everybody, we got YouTube. I was trying to wait a little bit till CT got here, and it doesn't look like CT's getting here. So I've got some good stuff going there, and it looks like it's running. It's like, well, I'll set that down. Welcome. We're going to get this running in a second. I got to get this part going. Do I have enough? Nope. I'm going to leave this charged, but I will monitor comments tonight on YouTube and Facebook. So I got it. Hey, Walker, I got it. I don't know how I got it, but I did. I'm going to take these off so that works. It's just the weight of both. I should just really tighten that baby down. That's what I'm going to do. All right. So there it is. So I got that going. I got the comments. Yeah. I got that running. I got the headphones. We are doing 9, but let's just real quick do our sponsors. I'll start out with Rosewood Bourbon and Rye. Jason Giles down in Texas is distilling now, and then also buying Kentucky bourbon and Indiana bourbon, and then taking it down to Texas and letting it age for a year. So if you see Rosewood Bourbon or Rye on the shelf, I highly recommend it. Now, Whiskey Thief Distilling Company in Frankfurt and Louisville, one of the greatest experience you can have on the bourbon trail. I highly recommend it. It's a barrel pick all day, every day. Everything they do is bottle your own, and it's all uncut, unfiltered, or uncut, unfiltered, or uncut and unfiltered single barrels that they do. Fantastic place. Walter Zausch was on our last podcast. We absolutely had a blast. He is a fan of all whiskeys. We were doing Stag, and when he came on that, it just went all. So a lot of fun. Now, this is Middle West Spirits in Columbus, Ohio. Ryan Lang has set up something that is amazing here in Ohio. He's put a Kentucky-like distillery right here in Columbus, Ohio, right in our backyard. He is working on an experience that'll be like no other. But his cast strengths, straight weeded bourbons, his Miquelon, ryes, and bourbons are fantastic, especially at the cast strength. They are in 48 states. You guys all can get a bottle of this, and I highly recommend this newest cast strength. They have been distilling since 2012 at their craft distillery, and then if you're around right now, they have the Service Bar, which is a nice fine dining restaurant with fantastic drinks right there at their craft distillery. They are distilling at their main distillery, but now they're starting to build and put in the second tier of shops and restaurants. It's going to be fantastic when it's all done. Middle West Spirits in Columbus, Ohio. Spirit of French Lick. This right here is our Lillian Sinclair. This is our barrel pick. Let me know if you're interested. It just won awards at the New Orleans Bourbon Festival. Not our barrel pick, but this brand. The one that was at the festival was 2 years. Mine is, and ours is 3 years old, almost 4, and it was finished with a French oak stave. This is the last barrel pick. This in our William Dalton that Alan Bishop, who now is no longer the master distiller, but all of his whiskey is right there in French Lick, Indiana. If you're in the area, you gotta go, you gotta get it, because what he puts out wins awards. So he's doing some fantastic things. He did some fantastic things, and he's currently starting up again. Alan Bishop, if you have ghosts, you have everything. His podcast is a spirits podcast that deals with the spirits industry and the spirits that are within that industry. Fantastic podcast. He's gone into UFOs, the occult, everything. You got to check that out on iHeart or Spotify. And then also, Alan Bishop does One Piece at a Time Distilling Institute on YouTube. Fantastic home distillery, distilling knowledge. Everything that he has, and anybody who has a question, he's going to answer it. So you got to check out the One Piece at a Time Distilling Institute on YouTube. All right, guys, there's our sponsors. And then we have Old Louisville, but Old Louisville sponsors our barrel bottle breakdown that we do every Thursday. And tonight's barrel bottle breakdown will be Knob Creek 9. But the Old Louisville Whiskey Company and what Amin does down there is fantastic. Got to take that out. Year cast strength single barrel store pick from 2019. David Sprick was talking about that. We're going to get going in a second. I gave CT 15 minutes. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to make it. So we'll get this going. But I'll tell you, David Sprick, who's we have someone on from Australia, Booker Noe. It's 14-year Knob Creek. Yes, a 14-year. Those 2019 picks, we'll talk about it on the podcast, were fantastic. They were 14 years. It's right when 15 came out, and they were 14 or 15 years, and they just were so good. Super Nash got us a couple, and we drank them, and we were like, get us more. We'll even pay for a case. And the 15 came out at $100, and those were like $40. You could get them for like $40-$45 for those single barrels, and it was fantastic. So we really enjoyed that. Let's go. I'm gonna need this, but I'll put this right here on my. That's where I used to put it on my leg, and I should start putting it there too. All right, so I'm gonna get this going. What you're gonna, I'm gonna hear a 30-second spot for our sponsor, and then once that happens, I will start the music and we will start this podcast.
Drinking bourbon, sipping on some stars. We get a little wild and it's sure fun to watch. We love what we do, we're drinking every brew. Man, we talk songs, but we're telling the truth. Yeah, we're the Scotchy Bourbon boys, raising some hell and making some noise. Yeah, we're the Scotchy Bourbon boys. We're here to have fun and we hope you enjoy. We're here to have fun. Yeah.
All right. Welcome back to another podcast of the Scotchy Bourbon Boys. Tiny here. Tonight, CT was trying to make it. I don't think he's going to, but if he pops in, he will. But we are doing, that's kind of cool. But I bet you I'm making you all nervous when I do that one. but we are doing Knob Creek tonight. So it's going to be a fantastic podcast. This brand, I have actually, this brand is the brand of Jeffrey Mueller or Tiny, myself. This is the brand that when I was, my father drank Jack Daniels, and I'll get into our sponsorship and everything in a couple seconds. But when my father drank Jack Daniels, I was working as a computer artist in our family commercial art studio, and he drank Jack Daniels, and I tried everything to get by it. But we had Jim Beam in about 1995 as one of our design firm's customers. So we worked on a lot of Jim Beam, but Knob Creek was one of those bottles. I used other bottles of Knob Creek to make a bottle of Creek. I did this, what would you say, picture pixel illustration of the Knob Creek bottle. And when we did that, we were given the bottle as reference, so we had reference to it. So that was really kind of cool. A bunch of, it's like fantastic bourbon, whatever, but I thought it was strong. But we're going to go through the history. Like for the 9, what you got there, it's 100 proof. And when you deal with some of the single barrels, they're 120, which is really cool. All single barrels are 120. But this brand kind of defines my what would you say? I want to say this brand, the Knob Creek brand, defines my journey as the start of drinking bourbon. At first, I wasn't sure, but as I went through and whatever, it's become just a favorite staple of mine. So tonight, I'm excited to do Knob Creek 9. Now, I'm monitoring both Facebook and YouTube right now. David said he has a couple of 15 plus years stash of the single barrels, and so that's kind of cool. And then we got Walker, Randy, so far Randy Ford and Walker, Terry Dant. There's a bunch of people on tonight. Hopefully, feel free to comment while we're going. Grab a Knob Creek 9 if you can and sip along. This actually, my son is a fan of Knob Creek 9. I was able to flip him, I believe, with the combination of William Dalton and Knob Creek. Those two are what I got in there, and kind of cool. So, I mean, I was excited about that. Let's see if I get that one in there. All right, so we're www.scotchybourbonboys.com for all things Scotchy Bourbon Boys. We got t-shirts. We've got Glen Cairns. This one needs to be shined up a little bit. I hadn't done any of the polishing. There we go. That's pretty good because I'm going to show you this. And if I don't do the polishing, that really doesn't help. But anyways, on the website, you can get that, or you can contact me direct on Facebook or YouTube, leave a message, and I will arrange for you to get one of these awesome Glen Cairns or t-shirts of the Scotchy Bourbon Boys. All your support, we love. We are on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and X, and then also on the major podcast formats of Apple, iHeart, and Spotify, and anywhere else that you might listen to, we're there. But no matter if you listen or watch us, make sure you like, listen, comment, and leave good feedback. Comment, like, listen, subscribe. That's it. Here we go. Subscribe, comment, like, and leave good. I can't believe I'm screwing that up. Like, listen, subscribe, comment, and leave good feedback. There you go. Like, listen, subscribe, and leave good feedback. There we go. That's awesome. So we're ready to go. We're ready to go. I'm excited. Much to my wife's non-approval, I haven't had a bottle of the 9 in a while. So this is straight off the shelf. So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to open it right now because one of the cool things about it is the wax label. Now, I have done, if you go and you do it at the distillery, I've done it twice. We did it on our Scotchy Bourbon Boys bus tour, but that's actually the Scotchy Bourbon Boys. This actually was our, we'll get into this. I got so much to do, and then I'll put that right there. There's so many different bottles, but this one right here on our bus tour, this is signed by Sandy Noe because she came along with it. And one of the things is you bottle your own, so it's a 120. You can see that really cool. And then it's got the Knob Creek small batch right there. This is a single barrel, and it's 9 year. And then if you look on the top, you get to put your thumbprint. So, and you get to dip it. So you dip it and put your thumbprint. So it's really kind of cool. You can see that it's not, but look at that little stamp right there. That's cool. This one, I'm sure you can see the difference. That one was ragtag right here. And look at how smooth that one is. But the same thing, no top. But you can see that how nice that topper is opposed to the one that we did. So that's really kind of cool how that works. I've got a lot of different stuff on this tonight, so just bear with me. I've had a lot of single barrels, and my very first barrel pick that I ever went on was a Knob Creek single barrel for the Kentucky Bourbon Festival. So that was really kind of cool. I have one bottle of that. I purchased two, drank one, and I have another one put back from that. And that would have been, I want to say it was for the 30th, it was 2020. It's right here. This was the 30th anniversary, and it was 2021. No, is this? Yeah, for the 30th anniversary. So I went on that pick. Now I have another one I got the 2022 Knob Creek from the festival, and that's just right there. Kentucky Bourbon from Justin's House of Bourbon. That was kind of cool to have that 2022. So there's so many different barrel picks, but I'm going to go through the timeline as we go. And I've got some. Cheers, Matt. Good to see you. Randy Senator Garrison, brother. Okay. So I've got Michael Jackson's Whiskey, the definitive world guide that you can hear about a little bit of history on the actual. I'm going to get this right here. And so Booker started making them the small batches in 1992. Booker's was introduced in 1988 as an uncut, natural proof and non-chill filter bourbon, but in 1992 the complex oaky Booker's was joined by three more bourbons in the collection. One was the Baker's, one was the Basil Hayden, but twisted in a balance. And the robust Knob Creek, a 9-year-old 100 proof whiskey named after Abraham Lincoln's childhood home in Kentucky. So when Booker started to make his small batch collection, he basically got this going. And one of the things it was pretty cool and once he got it going, Fred, who is one of the co-distillers at the distillery right now with Freddie Noe, he really got the small batch, the basil, kept the Bookers and the Basil Hayden. All that is after Booker passed in 2004. But you got to say, during Fred's time is when the 90s was the rebirth, but the boom was during Fred's time, and he really Fred and Freddie have really done a nice job with the small batches out of Jim Beam. Hadn't done a Jim Beam podcast in a while, and I really wanted to do this because it's kind of fantastic. You know what I mean? Fantastic bourbon. It's something. Hey, Leland, good to see you. I would say that this is part of my, if you had to pick a couple, I mean, Booker's is right there because Booker's was what really got me into collecting before, right at the time when I was starting the Scotchy Bourbon Boys group. It's Booker's was the first ever bourbon I hunted, but Knob Creek is the first bourbon that I would say I could associate myself, and that was a big difference in time period because one was probably 1995, 96, and the other, the Booker's when I started was 2000. It was Kitchen Table, which I believe is a 2000. I want to say I started, I think it was in 2018 and I was able to obtain it in 2019. And, that's kind of like, the two different things of Jim Beam. Now, all the other stuff that came through was fantastic, And so I've got just on the I got some right here. I've got the right off the Knob Creek. So the 9-year-old, let's just do this again. Get the things. The 9-year-old bourbon whiskey. When it comes to making Knob Creek bourbon, there's a lot of waiting, but hardly any sitting around. While each barrel patiently ages in white oak, our distillers continue to raise the standards, fulfilling their commitment to full flavor. The result, an unflinching balance of deep pre-prohibition style bourbon with a robust oak taste, complemented with hints of smooth vanilla and layered caramel. Proof 100. Um, there's 107 reviews. Let's read a review. It gets a 4.6 out of 5. And then I'll look at the reviews. Here we go. Reminiscent of the French market. When I lived in New Orleans, it was fun to be a tourist in my town. A stroll down river through the edge of the French Oak Quarter, taking the wharfs of the roasted pecans and creamy pralines was a savory treat. Putting my nose in this glass of Knob Creek 9 instantly took me down. All right, so this is the kind of stuff. It's Knob Creek definitely has the Jim Beam profile, and I'm gonna take you to break. We're gonna go to Breaking Bourbon now. Let's see. We go here. I've got this down really good. So right there, Breaking Bourbon. So it's in its form of 9. It's 100 proof. But if you're buying it at 9 years, it's 100 proof. But if you're buying this in a single barrel, you're going to get 120 proof. Both fantastic, perfect drinking things. So if you go there and you see a single barrel, you're going to see 120. If you go there for the 9-year, it's going to be 100 proof. Now, they just real quick, they make also the 12-year, which is whiskey's favorite. Hey John, it's good to see you. John Ritt just put in 9-year 120 proof is my favorite. I've never seen a 9-year. Well, I've seen a 9-year 120, but those are single barrels. So they are Leland. Those are all the single barrels that come out, and they do release the ones off the shelf at 9-year also. But there were also older ones, just like the Scotchy Bourbon Boys actual pick right here. You can see it. I got that here, and this was called the Scotchy Bourbon. Well, it was called the Barrel Room Scotchy Bourbon Boy Select. Okay, and this was 120. And honestly, I had it's signed by Fred. This one I put up. I have another one left. I gave the person who got this year's crystal, the premier Crystal Glen Club, that was Sarah Evans, and she got one of the 3 bottles remaining of that from our barrel pick. So I was able to put that out. I still have the signed one and the one that I have for myself, and I believe somewhere else there's an open one that I can sip from. But the 9-year is all the mash bill for. It's made by Jim. Its distillery is Jim Beam. The company's Beam Suntory, their own. It's straight bourbon, 9 years age. Now, so in 2016, they took that 9-year age statement off because they were using other. The demand was so high during the bourbon boom of what they had. They used younger bourbon, but back in 2020, they put the age statement back on. So it's been back on for 5 years. I can't believe it's gone that fast. I thought I was going to be like 22, 23 when they put the 9 year. Nope, it was 2020 when they put it back on. The mash bill is 75% corn, 13% rye, and 12% malted barley. The MSRP from 2020 was $35. The MSRP today was $34.99. It hasn't changed. It's 100 proof, but for $34.99, it is definitely a now someone asked what's a good price for the 12 year. Now, we got Proof Oak. He can't collect. He drinks it too fast. And then Lane said, "What's a good price for the 12 year?" I believe the 12 year. Well, I can actually tell you what a good. I don't think they got it on the website, but the 12 year was. I want to say this. I think it was $79.99. I think it started $59.99, but when it came out again, it was $80. So that was a 12 year. Now they make a 15, which I have here and I haven't tried, and an 18. Now I've tried the 18 many times. I'm getting this up. Get this back over here. I've tried the 18 many times. It was really good, but it's kind of a oaky kind of thing for me. So it wasn't too oaky, and I had interviewed Fred Noe, and that's one of the things that he said in the interview when they're doing these age statements, the older age statements, that he doesn't want it to get too oaky. Now, this was the coolest bottle ever. It's like it's got a way to you flip this up, and then you can. It's got a little wood thing that holds it in place that you slide in like this. I think, yeah, this goes in. No, how does that work? Yeah, I want to say, yeah, get it in like that. Drop it in like that. It holds the bottle in, and you drop this. You flip this, and the little back thing slides out. You got a little thing, and you slide it out. So it's really kind of cool display. Knob Creek holding. I love this one. I believe that this display also was used, I want to say, by Maker's Mark. I think somewhere I actually have a Maker's Mark in this same kind of box, which is kind of cool. But we'll leave the 18 there. We got the 15 here. I'm going to take now the 15's in more of a Booker's box. You can see that right here. So I'm going to pull that out for now. Drop the box down, pull the 15. Now, I don't got a lot of 15 left, and 15 comes in at 100 proof too. So 12, 15, and 9. So tonight I'm going to be sipping a little bit of that. I'll drop the box down there. We got some more room here now. And then I have a Knob Creek single barrel, but what's really kind of cool is some of this stuff that I've got is in the first bottle before they change it. I love the new bottles. But if you look at the two bottles, what would you think? Do you think that's 750 and that's 750? What you got here going is both are 750, but look at, I wonder, I don't see, maybe it's the thickness, but that's taller, and this is a little wider. I mean, that's just the way it is on the top or whatever. It's always kind of funny how that works, but this is the 12. I got a 12 that's like that also, but this is one of the first barrel picks that I picked up before I did a barrel pick or whatever, and it's kind of cool. You can see every label down here says where it's from, and this is 120 proof too. So this is what you like. But on this one, I'm going to tell you the barrel picks now coming off of like store picks. This one was 9 year 5/28 2011 to 9/8. So it was a 9 year. Now ours was actually 2011 to 2022. So it was 11, 10, so it was 10 and a half years old. So that's kind of where that's at. So that's kind of cool. This one, this 15 year, well, obviously this is a 15 and that's a 12. Now, those are 100 proof, so they are 15-year batches that they make. So, and those are 100 proof. So that's really kind of cool. So what we got here is a lot of different bourbon in different whatever, but it's Knob Creek and it shares that mash bill. Now that shouldn't be happening, but it obviously is. I don't know why. I'm not stopping. Okay, so we're all good. I will get back in. 1965. Yep. All right. So it's reloading, breaking. Okay. So once again, $35. You got It's one of 4 bourbons that comprise Jim Beam's small batch collection. We know it's Basil Hayden, Booker's, and also Baker's. But Beam states that they age every batch in maximum char barrels to pull every bit of natural sweetness from the oak. From its initial release in 1992 up to late 2016, Knob Creek carried a 9-year age statement. In 2016, Beam removed the age statement, saying that it could not guarantee all barrels would be aged 9 years due to inventory issues. In 2020, the 9-year age statement once again returned to the small batch. Now, this is what they say. Presents notes of vanilla, light oak, and dab of caramel, a hint of char, and a dab of fresh marshmallow things. Now, this is 2020 and start of sip. I mean, it's like it has a great nose, and the finish is oak, vanilla, and leather jump out. That's very unique for Booker's and for Knob Creek. Same mash bill. All right, let's see. It's one of the best values in my opinion, at $34.99 and a 9-year for what you're getting. And I'm going to be tasting it right off the shelf and I will be putting the barrel bottle breakdown with I'll cover that in a second. Now I know you all as we're going, I think I've given it some good going good, John, for a summer. All right. Let's see. Yep. I've given you all the stuff that I need to read. I'm clearing this. I haven't had any bourbon tonight. We're gonna put this away. But I can tell you, I'm gonna open it and give it a little time. I love once again the wax and just you got this and they do a good job with it. When Macaulay from Dark Arts didn't put this on and he just put wax, I think I bloodied my fingers right live on the podcast. Right in. I went through this period now. Once again, it's a fresh crack or a fresh open, but I usually like to let it air, give it a sniff, pop the cap back on because now that air has been let out, and then get that baby like that. Let the air come back, the fresh air come through, open that baby up. Now I'm going to let this breathe while I talk about it, but it's 9-year, 100 proof. Now it's not a bottle. I mean, it's not bonded, but it's as good as any bonded. I mean, it's gone 9 years. It's not 4. It's 100 proof, and it meets all the standards of bourbon. Although it might not have barrels that were from the same season. I don't know. That part's not there. We'll put this back up here. We are going to do the thing, but what I'll tell you is, so as an artist, in 1995, I was a computer artist working on commercial art in Milwaukee in my dad's studio. We had a high-end commercial. It was called the Quantel Graphic Paint Box, and it was a high-end computer doing high-end artwork, and we did a lot for the industries. One of our clients was Coors. Another client was Jim Beam. It was at the time, it was not Beam Suntory. It was, I believe back then, either Beam Incorporated. I want to say that's what it was. and they were just starting to go through the push of Knob Creek. So I got a bottle of 100 proof 9-year Knob Creek, but in this size bottle. And I had it, and I had tasted it, and this was in 95. That puts me at 31. And Jack Daniels had been, but I had no idea what bourbon was like. You know what I mean? I didn't know what, I was still 31 years old. Did I fill that? Nope, I didn't. Let's spin this around. See what happens. Let's bring her around. Yeah, there we go. Rolling it around in the glass. Look at that. It just holds up right off the bat. It coated the glass and there's nothing right now. That's how the viscosity of this bourbon is. I mean, the corn oils at 78, I believe was what it is. It's going to take a while to start running down. So let's let it sit. It's breathing. I could see right at the top the legs starting to happen as it runs back down. This is really kind of cool how you could see that kind of happening. And then, so in my Scotchy Bourbon voice, Glenn, so I was commissioned to do some artwork, and I did it, and it didn't turn out quite as good because the label or the bottle, the label was a little bit light, and I used a lot of light pictures. I probably should have used more, but I did, and I really got into it. Plus, I was able to keep the bottle. So when I drank the bottle, it was the first really real whiskey that I what would you say? It's the first real whiskey besides Jack Daniels that I ever cared to drink. So I hadn't started my bourbon journey at all by then, and I really liked what it was doing. I mean, it's done some, that did some this little bit different kind of thing of what I was expecting. Kind of went to, once it ran, it went to drips, but there's some long, the legs are a little bit thinner. Now, that's rocket us fast forward. I love Booker's. It was 2018 when I started searching for Booker's. I had no idea it was a bean product when I was looking for it. I had no idea that Booker started Knob Creek, Basil Hayden, and I would buy Basil Hayden, not knowing Knob Creek and Basil Hayden were together. I bought Basil Hayden for a gift for it's just was a great Christmas gift with that great label. So I was really into Jim Beam before I really got into this without even knowing it. But I will tell you, as we got to know Fred and Freddie and Fred's wife Sandy, uh, we really kind of got to know them, and they're fantastic people. Sandy, I keep in touch with Sandy regularly, and it really is a quality product that they put out. And they have a flavor profile that, if you're going to like it, I mean, when you ask for a Jim Beam, one time we were out and we asked for a Jim Beam and we ended up getting a Jameson. And there wasn't any comparison. We knew that we didn't get Jim Beam because we know the flavor profile of Jim Beam. So that is consistent throughout their product, but the Jim Beams, the Jim Beam Blacks, all have different as it goes. You're looking at you're looking at 4 year at Jim Beam, you're looking at 5 to 7 year, depending. You're looking at with Basil Hayden, Old Granddad's probably a 4 year. I mean, there's just so many. It's just how long it was in the barrel and what's the proof you're going to put it out. So that's kind of how it goes, and which rick houses they pull from. So they pull from the same, they know it. They've got a whole, what would you say? They've got a whole history of now 9 generations of Beam distillers. Fred was the 8th, Freddie's the 9th, I believe, of distillers that know where their product ages. These risk, in some cases, the rick houses are over 100 years old, and they've been doing it. They know the sweet spots. They know where they are. They documented them. So it's really kind of cool how that works. And the product that they produce is fantastic. So for $35, Knob Creek, a 9-year bourbon, you've got the 10-year Eagle Rare, but the Eagle Rare, and that's 31 or 33.99 or whatever, but this is held its price at 34.99, so that's really kind of good. And yeah, the lineage, although I got it, I mean, they make some really high. Don't forget the Japanese Larson Legent, and then I believe if you really want to get into, I mean, they have so many different things. They've got their special distillery releases. They got Baker's, which is normally 7 and it's gone to a single barrel now. They got Baker's 13. Fantastic. So there's so many different things that they got. But this particular Knob Creek, I think it's been in there. But so fast forward to 2000. I'm into Booker's and whatnot. Meet Fred and Sandy Noe. So my first ever barrel pick I ever was on. I'm getting into this. I'm doing the podcast. Never even thought I'd be on a barrel pick. Was with the Kentucky Bourbon Festival. It was during COVID. It was the spring of 21. I was invited to the Brendiamo penthouse, which was not the Brendiamo, but it was the offices of the Kentucky Bourbon Festival to do a barrel pick. Now, this barrel pick was not, Old Tub, don't forget that. That's my favorite. I'm going to be drinking that on April 8th on Monday on my fantasy baseball draft that's coming up. So I love Old Tub for that. That's my thing. But I will say that on this barrel pick, I was with Steve Coombs. I was with both the Justins from Justin's House of Bourbon, who really know bourbon. I was with Randy Prass, and then Freddie Noe, and then a couple other people that I don't, but they were friends of Steve Coombs, and from Alaska. It was really kind of cool, but it was up there at the studios, their offices from Kentucky Bourbon Festival, and Freddie came. He brought the lineage, which was, I believe, homage to Fred Noe. That's the one. And he also brought the Hardin's Creek, not the Jacob's Well, but the 15-year one. And we got to taste that. I knew about Hardin's Creek way before they released it. Speaking of Hardin's Creek, has there been any releases this year? I haven't seen any. But my favorite is the single barrel. That's 10 years. I have another single and 9 year. Yeah. Well, the Scotchy Bourbon Boys one was almost 10 and a half years. That's really good. A couple people told me that was the best one that best single barrel they ever tasted. I admit it was good. But that 2019 pick was my first ever barrel pick, and it was fantastic. I never did it. I picked and was part of the people, the group that picked the one that Freddie picked. So there was a couple, I believe there was 1, 2, 3, 4. My wife even got on it. She wasn't 2, 4. There was 8 people with her, 9. And I went with the one that Freddie picked, and it was 4-4. And Freddie didn't vote. And his vote was the one that kind of broke the tiebreaker. And then we blinded the 2 of the 3, and it ended up being the pick that I liked. I have a bottle of that still. Like I said, I bought 2, but hey, Ricky, good to see you. Best deal. Yes, it is Knob Creek 9-year, 175 at Costco for fit. Yeah, I saw it at 65. And that is a deal. And Knob Creek's a deal. Knob Creek is a really good bourbon made by Jim Beam, and it's 9 years old, and it's good. I mean, it's fantastic. So this has been sitting in there. And I know this flavor inside and out. Initially, my 31-year-old palate in 1995 was telling me that this was hot and peppery and very not. And then when I started drinking for the podcast, it was a little bit, I would say there's a spice. Put it this way. This is not a bourbon. This is a bourbon designed for a person who likes whiskey and they like the actual, they're not looking for something easy. They like something that's got a nice bite to it, a little bit of pepper. It's really kind of cool. So definitely love this thing. And we're gonna do right now, since we're at this point. Oh, okay. So we did the 2021 barrel pick, but then we go along and you got 2022 coming, and before 2022 we decide that we're going to do our own Scotchy Bourbon Boys barrel pick. This was 6/9/2022, so June of 22. Scotchy Bourbon Boys aligned with the barrel room here in Canton, and Carrie and her friend who own it split the barrel with us. We wanted to split the barrel because I had never done a barrel pick, and I didn't know if the group was gonna move enough bottles, so we split it, which was a good idea. But we moved the bottles fine. Everything went well. It was my first pick through the state of Ohio. Got to meet Anne. But I would say that it was a great experience. We went down with, it was myself, CT had not joined. It was Xavier, Roxy. We could have 6, and it was Carrie and her friend, and then Mrs. Xavier went. So the 6 of us went down in June, and then did the barrel pick. Fantastic time. We ate at the kitchen table. Oh, Sandy Noe was on the barrel pick too. She came down, and I think, I'm not sure, but I don't think Mrs. Xavier, it was Sandy Noe who we invited to come with us too. So we had 6 that could go. Great time. Super pick. Had a lot of fun. It worked out great. And I still have a couple, and very proud of this pick that we did. So my first barrel picks that I ever were on, one that myself. Now we were able to do many more since then, and been on them with the Kentucky Bourbon Festivals. Love being on the picks that we were on. Really enjoyed everything about it. Barrel picks are fantastic. If you could get to Whiskey Thief, there's a barrel pick all day, every day. So you can get a feeling, and you can walk away with one bottle. You're not having to buy a barrel. But if you talk to Walter, he'll sell you a barrel if you want. It's just, that's how this works. So, no, actually, if you're talking about it, they're finished in casks with cherry blossom casks from, I mean, if you're asking Matt, that's the Legion. It's not sherry, it's not a wine, it's the cherry blossom whatever from Japan with the main master distiller from, it's Suntory. He helped them come up, and then the whole aging process, he thought it was going to have to age for 2 to 4 years, and it ended up only having to age a year and a half. That's how fast it ages in Kentucky compared to Japan. But getting back to this, so then we've been to, I was able to go to the Beam. I went to a luncheon with Fred and Freddie. We met them at the first Kentucky Bourbon Festival. I did a painting of Fred and Freddie and Booker, and had Fred and Freddie sign it. I gave them it. There's so much history in this, and I'm looking. Yep, I got a Knob Creek right above Freddie's shoulder in the painting. It's right over there. Fantastic, lots of fun to do that, and just really overall, Knob Creek has just been a part, and Jim Beam has been such a big part of this ride that we're taking here. And I just wanted to, let everybody know. I haven't had a 9. I went out and gotten it. I've looked at it, but as a whiskey connoisseur and a person who gets whiskey all the time to taste, you don't always go out and buy the basic bottles, but sometimes you got to do a podcast and get a basic bottle, much to the chagrin of my wife. She's like, why do you should put, and it's like, it does. So we're doing the brand. We got the 9 year, and I am going to, that brings me to the Old Louisville Whiskey Company barrel bottle breakdown. It's based off of Knox. Tiny has his knocker right here, which is a bung hammer, purchased at, I want to say this was purchased at Wilderness Trail on a barrel pick with Macaulay. So I was able to get this. I love this. This is actually an icebreaker, but it's in the shape of a, but it is our knocker. So our knock system has evolved so that it's based off 4 categories. So the Old Louisville Whiskey Company barrel bottle breakdown rating system is based off of 4 categories: smell, nose, aroma, body, taste, finish. For the nose, you can get up to 4 knocks. For the body, you can get up to 4 knocks. For the taste, you can get up to 5 knocks. And for the finish, also 5 knocks. We've evolved this because I feel that if you have something with body and good mouthfeel and it doesn't taste good, who cares? Because you can taste like crap and it just fills your mouth completely. That's not really a great thing. And then also, same thing. If it smells okay but tastes fantastic, really taste is more important. But also, in the end, your finish, in my opinion, is what's left over. And if you go upstairs after you're done and you still taste the whiskey, it's kind of an important thing. The last thing or last pour or whatever. So that's what we're looking at. Our Old Louisville Whiskey Company barrel bottle breakdown. You got to check out Old Louisville. They're in Louisville, Kentucky. I believe Amin is in the process of trying to relocate, but at the current place, there's barrels. You got to get there. He will make sure it's by appointment at sometimes and then open, I believe, on the weekend. Stop by, see him. You will walk out with some damn good whiskey. There's no doubt about it. His bourbons and his barrels that he picks are fantastic. Amin's got a really nice thing going there. So, anyways, that brings us to the rating. So I'm gonna already, I kind of see what it did in my glass. From a nose, there's a lot of vanilla. It almost smells like a vanilla ice cream cone. There's a little bit of a floral, but like I said, smells like a vanilla ice cream cone. Either you like this or you don't. This is Jim Beam. There's no doubt. This has a richness more than the actual just Jim Beam. The nose that's coming off this is fantastic. How can you go wrong with a vanilla ice cream cone? That's just my opinion. There's a little bit of oak also and a little bit of pepper, but that vanilla ice cream cone is right there. All right. This is 2000. This bottle should be the newest bottle on the shelf. I mean, there we go. Let me look and see what's on the bottle. I like the nose. I really love the nose. I got them right here. Let's see what it just actually says. I never read the bottle. For this, it says the original Knob Creek small batch Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, aged 9 years, crafted for quality full flavor, Claremont, Kentucky. 100 proof, 50% alcohol, crafted for quality, full proof, full flavor, 100 proof since 1992, and age 9 years. Do I got a 110 OCB? Do 110. Just seeing if there's anything that tells you what 122 calories per 1.5 point proof points. Not for underage. www.drinksmart.com, www.nodcreek.com. Distilled and bottled, James B. Bean Distilling Company, Claremont. Nope, it doesn't have anything. What's that? Yeah, since 1992. Knob Creek small batch. There you go. Not a lot on it. All right, so it's just basic. All right, so the nose is done. Let's take a sip of this baby. Wow. It's big body. And the caramel comes out. There's a lot of complexity on this. Like I said, these bourbons, like Knob Creek, are bourbons for people. You're not looking for dessert, or it's not sweet. It's what bourbon whiskey, what somebody would imagine whiskey should taste like. Sometimes you get these sweeter bourbons, and when you get they pull out some flavors, and you're like, holy crap, how does it do that? This isn't about that. This is about drinking a bourbon that, for people who don't, it brings out a little bit of leather. There's vanilla and caramel, but then there's a little bit of leather. As far as the body goes, with the Kentucky Chew, we'll do it now. It's amazing. This does, wow. For 100 proof, I've been drinking a lot of 100 proofs lately. I think the last couple have been 100 proof. The body's always on those. You can't compare, but this 100 proof of this batch, I wonder if that's the date on the bottom. Let's see. I saw it on the bottom. On this batch, the 100 proof, this body is amazing. And the taste is everything that I would want. All right, 587, 37. No, nothing's helping me. I wonder if there's a laser. Oh, there it is. This one is L505 7220 35. 0900 1CLJ 730-03-50900. That just doesn't help me on the date. I'm sure if I look that up, it'll probably tell me. But like I said, I think this is one of the newer bottles. Now, one of the things that people don't understand is that not only does Maker's Mark have the patent on the red wax, and it's not so much you could put a red wax, but it can't drip. And the same thing, you look, these don't drip. Nobody who has a wax seal drips them except for Maker's Mark, because they've got the patent on that. So that's kind of cool. Some of the single barrels are quite sweet. That's the small batch blend talking about. No, I'm talking, yeah, some of the single barrels have that sweetness because they're single barrels. But when you're talking about the batch of it, they're trying to make it not be too sweet. It's sweet enough, okay? It's really good. But this is, like, in my opinion, Beam's the part that Greek would do, swipe up a 9 and give it a pour. Oh no. So my opinion is the other one that's close to this is Cave Hill from Rabbit Hill. Once again, this is like the bourbon that you're gonna, what you think it should taste when you're sitting in the rick house and you smell all the barrels aging in the summer. It just has that flavor. It's fantastic. So on that, but the body's amazing. Now let's just go to the taste now after the palate shot. So straight up vanilla frosting on the front. If you leave it on the front palate, and then as it goes to the back palate, you pick up a little bit of caramel with that, and then the leather, and it's leather, it's not tobacco. The leather flavor starts to take over, which I think the classic bourbon flavor is the leather. Now, I'm not getting any on this one. I'm not getting any Jim Beam peanut. It's leather, caramel. It's sweet enough. That batch, this batch of 9-year Knob Creek is probably the best. That's one of the best Knob Creeks on the 9-year that I've ever had. A lot of times, I'm just going to tell you, this is really fantastic. Was not for a small batch at $35. I'm going to say this 9-year might be the steal of the year. I might have that as a category. $35, 9-year, and this tastes sweet, vanilla, like you pick up the vanilla frosting flavor. The nose is like a vanilla ice cream cone. The body goes to your cheeks. It goes everywhere. And the finish, then you pick up that little bit of leather that just makes it not oversweet. What does it finish with? I got the little bit of leather. I'm trying to think what it finishes with. Batch blend talking. Some of the single barrels are okay. We got anybody else? Yes, Justin. Nice. I'm slouching. I don't know why I'm slouching. I hate it when I slouch. All right, so standing straight up again. I will say that it's time to do the bashing. Not the bash. I used to bash. It's time to do the knocks. This one. So we're going to go on the nose. The most you can give it is a 4. The ice cream takes it for sure. I love it. I'm going to give the nose a 4 out of 4. Here we go. 4 bashes. The next one's going to be on the barrel behind me, which was the William Dalton barrel that had a French oak stave that Alan Bishop allowed me to have. So 4 on the nose. The body, everywhere. Got to go 4 on the body. Four on the body. Taste, out of 5. It's just not. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. No. Yeah, because the leather is a little bit, and you got to add that in. 4 out of 5. So right now, we are 12 out of 13. The finish for 100 proof 9-year, it's there. But I wish that I pull in, it's just a little too much leather to be a 5. It's like, what's the finish? What's it left? It's long. It's long, folks. I'm telling you, if you like a little leather and a little bit of tobacco, not a lot, not overpowering, this is your drink. This is your jam. It's how I like leather and tobacco flavors. So leather, tobacco, and dark chocolate, along with oak, the actual flavor of the wood. When you say it's oaky, sometimes you can pick up the actual flavor of the wood. When you pick up the leather and the tobaccos, that's the wood, but it's taken on not a wood taste. It's been in there long enough to, with a little bit of char and everything that makes it there. But the chocolate is when the dark chocolate is, no, it doesn't go to dark chocolate. It stays at leather. I prefer a dark chocolate finish or something like that. So I think the finish is it's long, but for me, the finish is a 3 of 5, which brings us to a score of 15 out of 18. Now, if you're talking, I mean, bottles that are $189 get 15s of 18s. This is a $34.99 bottle that just pulled off a 15 of 18. Now, it does, my palate has evolved over the years. I will tell you this. And honestly, the 15 out of 18 score is a pretty good score, I believe. But as it evolved, whiskey, in my opinion, has also, over the last, since I started, the aging, what would you say? The actual aging in Kentucky inside the maturation in the barrel has become more perfect. Hotter, there's more heat, hotter summers, a little bit hotter summers, and then there's a lot of what would you say, storms and rain. And these rickhouses have their windows open, and the barrels just sit there, and they get the wind and the rain, and they get the heat, but they also get the cold of the winters. So Jim Beam ages the natural way that in Kentucky, of just letting Mother Nature take its course. And they've got two Freddie and Fred, and I'm sure Fred has taught Freddie that there was a couple years ago, they put out 5 batches of Bookers, and they started to put out the batches for that next year, and they only put out, I want to say, I want to say 3, but they might have put out 4 that year. They didn't put out 5, but I want to say they put out. But the reason why they cut back that year was because Fred thought that they were trying to rush it. There was one that was 6.5 years. Fred likes to get it at least 7 into Bookers. So they really, really care about this brand. And this year's version of Knob Creek 9 that I just bought here in March, today at my local Giant Eagle of Knob Creek 9, has just, it's even better than I remember it. And it's really kind of cool. So it's just been such an unbelievable part, from tying into my art career to tying into before I started the podcast with meeting Fred and Freddie at the first Kentucky Bourbon Festival in 2019. It just realistically has been one of the bourbons, and there's been a couple, but this bourbon has been part of my whiskey journey. So I wanted to give it its due, and it pulled off a 15 out of 18 tonight. And I think that's small batch. So there we go. So that's where we're at right now. So everybody on Facebook and YouTube know that I'm going to end the podcast as far as on audio. We're going to do our thing. And then I'm going to stick around for a little bit, because I've got, for everybody on Facebook and YouTube, I've got the 15 and the 12 And I want to know your thoughts once we get going. So I want to, cheers for that. As far as some of the single barrels, that's the small batch blend talking to you. Yeah. So let's get this going. Remember, here we go. So once again, people who just joined on YouTube, hang around. I'm just ending the podcast. We gave Knob Creek 9, 15 out of 18, and I'm ending the podcast on the audio, but we're going to stick around on YouTube. So stick around because we're going to be talking about the 12 and the 15 and then also the 18. So that's kind of cool. And here goes. We'll get into this. Remember, www.Scotchy Bourbon Boys for all things Scotchy Bourbon Boys. Glenn Cairns t-shirts. Contact me directly or on the website for all your Scotchy Bourbon glassware needs, and then also your t-shirts. So thanks very much for all the sales that we're getting off that. And then also remember, we're on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and X, and then also all the major podcast formats: Apple, iHeart, and Spotify. No matter whether you watch or listen, remember, like, listen, comment, subscribe, and leave good feedback. Now, remember, good friends equal good times. Don't drink and drive. Good friends equals good friends, and good bourbon and whiskey equals good times. Don't drink and drive. Drink responsibly and live your life uncut and unfiltered. And little Steve-O is going to take us out.
Oh, show me the way to the next whiskey bar. Oh, don't ask why. Oh, don't ask why. Show me the way to the next whiskey bar. Oh, don't ask why. Oh, don't ask why. For if we don't find the next whiskey bar, I tell you we must die. I tell you we must die. I tell you, I tell you, I tell you we must die.
All right. Let me everybody, Facebook and YouTube, we're still here. Let me audio magic it, improve voice quality, and improve clarity. I got to do that. And then what I'm going to do, CT wasn't even here. I set it all up for him, but I figured he's like, I'm not sure. All right. Let's save it, get it saving, and then I can, for uploading, it is called Knob Creek 9. There we go. We're going to save it to the documents. No, we're going to save it to the Scotchy Bourbon Boys. There we go. Why the desktop? That's not what I said. I said the Scotchy Bourbon Boys. All right, save. All right, so we're saving away. All right, I'm going to pull this off and put it in front of me. Anybody have any questions? But right now, I'm going to get into this. I like the 12-year. This is Knob Creek 12 is whiskey's favorite. And my first Knob Creek 12 was in a small bottle just like that. And then I've also got this single barrel select, but I got that. I got a single barrel select, and I've got the 15. So anybody out there, what should I start? Should I do the 12, the 15, or the single barrel select? Look at that, Walker. It's in one of those little ones. This actually was from Bardstown Wine and Spirits. That is that little liquor store as you come out of Bardstown or going into Bardstown when you're on your way to Wilderness Trail or Limestone Branch when you go out that way. That this is from there, and it probably, well, I could tell you it was from there from 2020. So this was even before this one. I should do that one. That's crazy. I've been there. Yes, we have been there. Who doesn't stop at that liquor store? It's like every single person on okay, we've got somebody, I can't read it. He's got a flower around and whatever. He said hi. Hello. Welcome to the podcast. Make sure, what are you sipping on? Let us know. So I'm going to put a little bit. So it's what's really cool about Knob Creek, in my opinion, is that you could do the 12, the 9, the single barrel, or the 15, and you're gonna basically use the same glass because it's Knob Creek. Just different expressions. You're going to be able to tell the difference. There you go. I hit some of that single barrel. Oh, this one's way caramely. So I found that the single barrels were more caramely than the batch. The batch is like total vanilla. So that's kind of cool. I'm looking. This is more like a caramel sundae with vanilla ice cream. Now, 120 proof. Oaky. That pulls off oak instead of leather. So that's kind of cool. Right? What do you think? I mean, there you go. Ounce and a half, and what I. So Walker says he's poured about an ounce each of a half. So okay, so let's do what we did last time. Anybody who's still here, I am going to throw on right here. I'm going to get it. It should still be a copy and paste if I'm not mistaken. Anybody who wants to join us can feel free. Command V. Control V. All right, I got to do it again. Let's just go right here. Copy invite. All right, where does it say it? Share, react, chat. Share. Let's do share. Nope, I don't want to do that. Turn that off. Let's turn that off. All right, let's see. Chat, react, share. Let's see. More. Record notes. Nope. Apps. Okay, I'm just going to go over here. I thought I could get it, but I'm still just going to come here. That's the Knob Creek 9. Copy invitation. Now we're going to go over here. We're going to go V. Return. Who wants in? Send. Yep, there it is. Tiny is inviting you to more. Anybody who wants to talk, come on in. We're right here. I wish I could do it to YouTube, but I cannot do that to YouTube. But I'll see in the future if I can get the copy of the invite to YouTube. I can pull this off right there. At least it was really tough tonight because I started this podcast and it kind of irritates me. All right. So everybody, I just gave you all a chance to join me on, I don't know who's there, who's not. This guy. What guy? Come on in, Walker. Anyways, whoever wants to join. So I'm going to do the 12, then the 15 pour myself. I had one pour. Here's the new 12, not the old 12. This was... no one's joining me? Come on, hit that. You guys, I just put the invitation out there for you on Facebook to join me. It's right there. Tiny Sketchy Scoop 9. Come on, click that link. Come on in. We got Randy here. Do we still have Randy, or is it just me and you, Walker? I should switch over and see what's happening. YouTube's doing all right, but let's see what Facebook's doing. All right, we'll go over here. Randy's the guy that's joining me first. I can tell that because he's got a Samsung. Only 4 of you out there, so. Oh, Supernat shared it. That means it's going to do well. Come on in. Come on in.
I'm trying to find my camera. I'm driving.
There you are. I can hear you at least.
Oh.
Hey, Matt, come on, join us. Where's Lizen? We could keep this party going. I'm all right with that for about another 15, 20 minutes. It should be just a little icon that you just click, or are you on your phone?
I'm on my phone.
Okay. Because you're at home, right?
I got it.
No. You're in the car.
Now?
That's in the van. There's only one reason for you to be in the van at this time of night.
I'm coming back from having a whiskey share with Dan Garrison from Garrison Brothers Distillery.
I know. I had read that in the comments.
Yeah, he was over in Jacksonville, which is a 2-hour drive from my house.
Okay, so you're driving or you pulled over?
I'm driving.
So obviously you weren't drinking.
That's why my eyes aren't looking at you. My eyes are looking at the road.
You do not
listening.
You don't have to do that. You definitely look at the road, and then also I'm glad that you weren't sharing in the Knob Creek.
Oh, definitely. I was not trying the Knob Creek. No.
There's 4, but I see nothing. What do you mean, Walker? It's not the post. It's right here in the whatchamacallit. Just click it. I shared it in the comments.
I just memorized the number and put it and carried it over to the Zoom, Walker.
I mean, just click on the click in the comments. I put it in the comments on your whatever. All you got to do is click that. No post. You don't have to come in on the post. I shared the invite in the comments.
Just tell him to go to Zoom. Tell him to go to Zoom and then just type the number in. He should be able to see the number.
Well, you're telling him. He's watching you.
Oh, can he hear me? Okay.
He can hear you. Yes, 100%. You are on. You are on with me.
Oh, okay. Well, then I'll say nice things about him, like I don't always.
I've never said a bad thing about Walker ever.
No, there's nothing bad to say.
It's the same thing, the same dynamic last time that he got on. It should be unless he's touring. Well,
I wonder if he was on his computer last time instead of his phone. I honestly don't know.
That podcast with so the bus tour looks like it's going to be between $325 and $350 a person, okay? Randy?
That's fine.
Yeah, I didn't think it was. I tried to keep it under 300 the last couple of years. Last year I actually did to do it, I subsidized it. I think it was.
I was going to say, if I know you and Martin, we'll drink $300 worth of whiskey on that.
Oh, you're gonna drink some good shit. I mean, we are talking about we are gonna get some Dusties. I don't know if you're on my bus. I think I can do about. This is one. That's one of the best. That's what I got for my birthday. Can you see that? There you go.
I see you big instead of me.
What?
I see it. What is it? Looks like mellow corn.
No.
Oh, Old Taylor, yeah.
1981 Old Taylor. Serious.
Wow.
There you are, Walker.
Yeah, I didn't see the invite at first, so I exited the live stream and then came back.
Okay, so, oh my God, it's so good. So you need to go horizontal, Walker.
Okay, I will. But first, doing that.
So Randy?
Yeah.
In May, I want you to figure out what we're going to do, what type of whiskey, and what direction we're going other than bourbon. And preferably not American. We're talking about Scotch, Japanese, whatever, but I need you to come up with it, and in whatever we pick, I'll probably either need a way to get it or get some samples from you. But if we're going to do samples, let's do this.
Okay.
Let's do this right, and we'll get Nash and CT samples, so we're all, and even Walker, so we're all drinking the same thing on that podcast. Because having you on, and your dissertation will be over, right?
Right.
If
I graduate the 17th of May, hopefully.
Okay, so let's do late May or early June. But think about it.
24th, the week before Labor Day, maybe. I mean Memorial Day, sorry.
Well, the 24th is actually my 39th anniversary. So maybe, well, the week of the 24th might be fine. You know what I mean? Just not the 24th.
Okay, yeah. Well, it wouldn't actually be the 24th. That's a Saturday, so it would be like the 22nd.
Ain't that screwed up? Because I got married on a Saturday, so it would be May 24th, Saturday, May 24th, 39 years later.
I think my numbers are right on that.
It could
whatever
be.
that Thursday.
Yeah, look at that. Who signed that? Baker?
Baker and Freddie.
Why is Baker signing Knob Creek bottles?
Because it was there. So
I love you, Walker. That's a totally great answer. So how much of your whiskey collection have you got shipped?
Nothing yet, but it's only going to be eligible to be a third because they won't ship open bottles. So I have 2/3 open and 1/3 not open.
So what are you doing with who won't ship open bottles?
Moving companies.
The military, the moving companies.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you got to do? You got to drive it down yourself?
Some of it, yeah.
Wait, some of it. So are you having a moving sale?
No, we're going to his house and all getting drunk.
I've never been to his house. I only see cement block from time to time. I don't know about that's not. Yeah, that's.
But there's a shit ton of bourbon, brother.
Just make sure. What's the app that we shouldn't be talking on?
Oh God, I don't know. It's Signal.
Signal. We just won't use Signal when we're starting to move the stuff.
I'm gonna go vertical for a second because this bottle is here.
He just went vertical. He's gonna go vertical. He's gonna do a vertical. He's going vertical signal. He's gonna do a vertical signal.
I want to do the light on this. Let's see if I can get the light correctly. That's the sign one. So
look at this one. Let's see. I had it. Where is it? Okay, hold on. Fred, no. Is it right here? Wait, I had it. Oh, look at this one.
I didn't switch my camera back.
This is signed. See,
yep.
Fred signed it.
I did get a different one signed by Fred. I have one.
But you see what that is?
Hold on. Right there. Yeah, Scotchy Bourbon Boys barrel room, right?
Yep. And Fred signed it for me. I got that one.
He did sign another one for me, and then he got distracted talking to somebody. So I have all three signatures on a different one. Of course, I wasn't really in the picture when Booker was alive. Otherwise, I might have gotten a signed bottle of Booker's, which
Look
would have
at-
been really different.
You can see that one, right?
Yeah.
So that
Yeah,
was
this is-
Bottle Your Own from 2019 before I started before the Scotchy Bourbon Boys podcast existed. Isn't that crazy? Did I lose you guys?
No, I Walker. So, no, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I
don't
can.
see you,
Walker,
though.
did you hear me?
Yeah, I do.
I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was before the Scotchy Bourbon Boys were podcasting. I got to do a dinner or a luncheon. I bought it when I went down, and I had gone to the Kentucky Bourbon Festival and had them sign the painting. But I went up to Lexington with my wife because she had a birth conference, and then I finished the Bourbon Trail, and I went here for a luncheon, and then I drove 2 hours to Ozzie Taylor with Tyler, which is now Green River, and I was able to leave at 2:30 and make their 4:00 tour because it was 2 hours, and that would have put me at 4:30, but I really got there at 3:30 because of the time change in Owensboro. So I was able to do the tour and then drive back to Lexington from there. So I went, but that dinner, and I got to thief a Jim Beam Black for the first time in my life. That was the first time I ever thieved from a barrel at this particular luncheon. And it was in Baker's house in the offices. The luncheon was upstairs with Fred and Freddie. And I had met them at the Jim Beam dinner where they signed the painting and everything. So I just kind of sat back and listened to them. You know what I mean? But that was their first ever dose of Tiny. I did the gala with them. I did the dinner, the Jim Beam dinner at the thing, and then also the luncheon that following Thursday. So that was really kind of cool. I completed the whole the Kentucky Bourbon Festival. The trail, I got the little special glass that said I did it. So I mean, there's not a lot of people who get the actual glass. It was 931 miles. That's a lot.
I talked to Daniel Burton. My barrel's supposed to be finished on the 1st of May.
Wait, now is that the original order?
That's the original order.
Jesus.
So I told him, look, you have two choices. You can reimburse me, or you can finish my work. You can finish my order. And he said, oh no, it'll be finished. It'll be finished on time.
Can I ask you?
He didn't say on time. He said it'll be finished by the 1st because I told him I need it by the 1st.
That's not on. Oh, I'm just like, he's lucky because this top right here, Randy, Daniel did, but it wasn't. Once again, he gets so busy and behind that he doesn't. But what you went through, Walker, isn't fair.
No, well, the problem is that he's not doing a first come first serve. He's favoring people who are being more upfront about, oh, I'm going to be in Kentucky on this time. Well, I've been in Kentucky the whole time.
Okay.
And he's taking advantage of
Walker,
me. I'm just going to tell him.
Walker,
when I see him
we were talking about this being late last Kentucky Bourbon Festival.
Yeah, because it's been over 2 years. Well, a year and change.
And he has your
It's
money.
been almost 18 months from what you were telling me.
It's not. Yeah. That's not. Honestly, that's not fair. But he does really good work. So let's hope he does a really good job on what you got.
That's what I'm hoping. Because
but then
I'll keep it forever. That's my hope. So I'll keep it forever.
So Walker, how many bus tours have you been on now?
2, I think, including ours, including the Scotchy Bourbon Boys.
Were you on the one where we went to Knob Creek and we grabbed Sandy? So
No, I've only been on one with the Scotchy Bourbon Boys.
So this is signed by Sandy Noe. Look at this gnarly little thing right here. It's got my thumbprint, and
Yeah.
Sandy's got her bottle too with the thumbprint. She was able to get. She ran away with that one. But so those are the two. I've done barrel your own twice now, and honestly, anybody doing in their 9-year at the distillery, anytime you do that, and then you get to put your thumbprint on it, which is really kind of a cool thing, right?
I need to try that. They're only like 30 minutes from me.
Yeah, you
It's
got
actually closer than Bardstown.
You got to do that at one point, and then okay, yeah. So, most, like I said, and then I've got the coolest bottle. I still have this one, which was part of my first. This is my first ever barrel pick, Randy. I did it with Freddie, Steve Coombs, Randy, and the Justins from Justin's House of Bourbon, and it's the first ever barrel pick I did, and it was up in the offices of Kentucky Bourbon Festival before it was the Brendiamo Penthouse, and it's got the sticker from the Kentucky Bourbon Festival, and I just I bought 2 that year, so this is one. So I think out of all the stuff I've ever put up has been like I always get 2 bottles, you know what I'm saying? And then I put one up and drink the other. So I don't know if I'm going to drink this someday, but it'll be someday in the future. You know what I mean? On a special occasion. Now I did.
Yeah, I've still got it going.
Now the other one I got a barrel pick from the only bourbon capital barbecue ever that happened. I believe it was 2023, and it happened at Log Still Distillery. There was a barbecue competition, the Bardstown bourbon capital of the world barbecue competition, and they did it, and I've got a pick from that. So I've got a lot of Knob Creek special bottles.
He does one every year that's just for their folks, but it's one of the distillery dinners, so it's in the like $250 to $300 range for their barbecue and dinner. It's kind of fun, but I haven't been to that one yet.
So I drank the 12-year, and it was way sweeter. But now I got the 15. Now the 15, in my opinion, this is the first batch of 15 that was released. Right here, I've got that much left. I don't know if you guys have had it, but it was oaky. Now this has been sitting for a couple years. And
the 12 year is pretty oaky to me too.
Well, the 12 year this 12 year that I had, yes, this one right here, which is batch 2, was pretty good. Batch 1 and 2 whiskey, absolutely love. I think he's got like 15 bottles of each. Now the last couple years he wasn't like super psyched.
I'm going to cheat because I can.
There it is, Baker's 13. Well, I'm just going to tell you, the wife loves Baker's 13. So there's always
some in the house. Yeah.
And she loves the single barrel, but there's always within range Baker's 13. And right beside it, Baker's 7.
Yep.
Now,
I'll be honest, I haven't had the Baker's 13 with a cigar yet, but when you and I and Nash were in New Orleans and we had that Baker's 7 with a cigar, oh my God, that was incredibly sweet.
So are you coming back, Walker, for are you going to come back for
Bourbon Fest?
Bourbon Festival.
I'm trying. I have to get to my new duty station first and request it. I've already booked a room.
Where? What's your room? What's your room request?
The room request that I have is for that Bardstown Capitol Inn or whatever that one north of town past.
What's the date?
Sure, that's not sure.
What?
It's not Sure Stay. It's whatever
No,
the one. It's like Sure Stay, but I forget what the thing is called. But it's like Bourbon Capital Inn or whatever it's called. That's north of town. Randy has stayed there before. I've stayed there before.
Not the Distill
Martin
Inn.
stayed with me.
Are you talking about Distill?
No.
Okay.
No, not Distill Inn. No, that's too far outside
No.
of town.
It used to be called City.
Too far
or
outside
USA
of
or something
town?
like
It's
It
like
is.
it's.
If you don't want to drive.
I could drive the 2 minutes. I could drive the 2 minutes unconscious.
You can. You can.
I'm kidding. I'm giving you shit.
I know.
Anyways,
But Martin and I stayed there last time.
okay.
I'll get the.
But what's the dates? Tell me the dates.
I don't remember. I think I booked it for the festival dates, but I know.
September 6th, I think.
No, it's 4th, 5th, and 6th. But
Yeah.
you need to book it the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and 6th.
I think it's already booked up.
Too late.
You need to fly in on Tuesday and stay Tuesday night so you can Wednesday the 3rd jump on the bus tour.
If I come, I'll probably be driving even from Arizona because I can't take what I want back on the airplane.
Okay.
I can only take 6 bottles back on an airplane.
Okay, Walker. I'd rather have you on the bus tour drinking the shit we bring, and we'll bring some stuff, and you bring your 6 best bottles. And just remember, the house is open. Well, I don't know why you're staying. You should be staying with us. The house is open. So fuck that. You're
Walker, why don't you stay with them and I'll rent the room because I don't have a room yet. So what?
Well, then you can bounce back and forth.
Yeah, we can do that. I'm pretty sure that the room has 2 beds. I don't think any of the rooms in that hotel that we're talking about. It's north of Marcella's. That was the restaurant I think that I was trying to think of.
Now, they have a bridge closed off supposedly, which is going to cause that between Boston and whatever. So I have to see what's going on with that.
That house, yeah. But anyway, the bottom line is once I get to my unit in Arizona, I have to immediately kind of request that and just tell them, hey, there's an event in September. This is what I'm looking to go to. If there's a class, I understand, but I'm trying to go to this event. This only happens once a year, and this one I'd like to have off. So that's going to be requested before I even put in for Christmas or for anything else.
Well, tell them you got $1,000 worth of tickets already purchased before you knew you were going.
Blackmail. That's
What?
Blackmail. That's not authorized. That's not allowed.
That's blackmail?
Yes. Because here's the thing. Let's say that you move to a new city, right?
When did you find out you were getting restationed?
Late December. I think I may have completed it in January. I didn't get my orders until the end of January or end of February.
Did you
look at my
sometime in February? You hadn't had them about 6 weeks.
Did you have a choice?
Or 8 weeks?
I had a couple of choices, but so the choice to stay here at Fort Knox, they didn't accept me. So Arizona was my next choice.
Okay, so you didn't have a choice because they rejected you at Fort Knox?
Kinda.
Okay. That was your first choice to stay, right? But it's the military. You don't get to choose, do you?
You kind of do and kind of don't.
Right.
It's a give and take.
Okay.
So this is where I went to school for my job training, and I'm going to go back and teach other people. So it's a good job. It's just way the hell out there. It's what I need to do, and it's going to be fine. I've been there twice before. It's going to be fine. But it is farther away.
But fly. But I'm telling you, fly, bring 6 back. Bring your greatest hits. We'll have enough fucking bourbon for you. And then what you do is then you basically buy new bottles, you send a UPS back to your place, and there you go.
I'll see what I can do.
I've got, Walker, my box will hold 10 bottles. I know that's not 100% kosher, but I've never had them stop me with that. But I also don't know that I've ever put 10 in it.
Wait,
That's
who
fine.
stops what?
But I also can't take back anything that I open. So that's
Yeah.
it's
Well,
all,
that's true.
Well, if you open something that you buy, we'll all help you drink it all.
Oh, I meant stuff that I brought, but that's true too.
Well, the other thing, you can use if you just tasted it, you can use a hairdryer and reseal it.
Yeah, we've talked about that.
Yeah, but if you're doing a lot more, obviously if you're drinking a bunch.
I don't know what you're talking about. All you got to do is basically seal it back up perfectly and ship it to yourself. For fuck's sake, I've shipped like 300 bottles so far and never.
Half taller.
What?
I said I feel an inch and a half taller because I wore my cowboy boots.
Randy's, are you home now?
Yeah, I'm getting up. I'm parked in the driveway. I'm getting my vest on and grabbing my bottle of Madre and going on into the house. Yeah.
I know what he's doing right now, but I know that his car's parked like about 1/8 of an inch from his other car.
Yep, you're right.
I know.
Went up and looked, and it's actually about 12 inches.
He gave me exact measurements. Oh,
Randy and I told you about the night that we met at Heaven Hill, right?
No, I didn't hear about how it started.
So Randy was the first in line, and I was the second in line. And it was not as busy as it often is. And it was, how should I say this? It was late in the evening, very early in the morning. I would say late in the evening still at that moment.
Well, when you got there at 1:30, I think is what you told me. I was asleep.
Okay, yeah, 1:30, so very early in the morning. And at some point, when you had woken up, because I was trying to be quiet but wasn't quiet enough, I'd set my chair down next to yours. We got to talking at some point, and then we got to drinking because there was nothing else on earth to do, and we were there at night alone. And he pulled some samples. I pulled some samples. He had actual sample bottles, and I had partially full bottles, partially empty bottles. And it was a good evening.
Yeah, that was like 5 years ago.
Oh.
There's no chairs.
Like
There's no chairs. You can't do chairs anymore. And you can't do samples anymore in line at Heaven Hill.
You definitely can't do samples anymore.
And you can't do chairs. When you do chairs at Heaven Hill now, they just send you to the back of the line.
Can't do
If you're not sitting in
I don't know about chairs.
No, I know about chairs.
Okay.
No chairs.
He was sleeping his. Yeah.
Well, when we were there, we were the only two there. It was very, very, very late. And I had set up because it was supposed to rain at 3 o'clock. So I had gone out and bought a 5-foot by 7-foot umbrella with a stand and set this umbrella up and put a cot under the umbrella.
How many people were there?
One, me.
Two.
No, well, when I got there was one and me. And then I woke up and there's this guy under my umbrella.
Seemed like the thing to do at the time.
And I looked at him, I thought, he's military, he ain't going to do anything. So we did.
That is cool, but
I think my first question.
I got a question for you guys.
Okay.
So this bottle of 2024 10-year Michter's. What is with the condensation that keeps happening in this bottle? What does that mean? Every single bottle I have does not condense except for this bottle.
I've heard stories on it. I don't remember, but I'll tell you, I've got the same thing. I've got an Elmer T 2023 Elmer T Lee here, and I shake it up twice a day just to get the condensation back into the bottle. But it condensates more than any other bottle I've got.
The 2023 rye and the 2023 Michter's 10 didn't but this baby, it constantly condensates.
You see that one?
No idea. No idea.
I don't. Where's that coming from?
No idea. That's crazy.
Honestly, I don't know. I've read about kind of.
It's signed by both of them.
Yeah.
Well, mine's signed by Elmer T. Lee right there on the back.
Everybody's is.
Oh goodness! Time to switch classes. I'm at my computer.
Yeah.
All right. So, anyways, I gotta get going to load this. It's 10:30. So
Yep.
good podcast. Nice Glen there. You guys are both part of the Crystal Glen. Different ways of getting in, but I'm telling you, Walker, you're gonna want to make this bus tour. This one's gonna be wild.
It is partially up to me, partially not up to me.
I know, but as soon as you know, you gotta let me know. Because it's either gonna be 14 or 28 people.
Absolutely. That's a promise.
Okay.
I can't guarantee that I can come. I guarantee you that it will be one of the first things that I try to work out when I'm there. My other justification for them is going to be, hey, I went to the training that takes 2 weeks before I got here. I'd like these 2 weeks at the back end to have back. Thanks very much.
That should work. If you got a decent CO.
That sounds like blackmail to me.
But it's not the same as showing up to a new city and a new job saying, I want this time off. I've already paid for the tickets, which is not workable in the military.
Right. Yeah, that's like me having an employee hiring someone and saying, well, we already got a cruise scheduled. I'm like, well, sorry.
Well, that's right. But if someone's really, really good and they've just been fired or let go or whatever, and they did schedule a cruise, it just depends on how good they are,
Well, that's true. But the other side of that is I hired a girl one time and she said, I've already got this scheduled. Can I start a week late? I said, yeah, but I've already got these other people. I've got patients. I said, but I'll find somebody. So I had a lady come in and work for me as a temp. Best temp I ever had. I would have hired her on the spot, but I'd already promised this other girl the job. The other girl lasted about 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've just got a bad taste in my mouth from that.
Yeah, I get it.
Put it this way. Showing up in June and asking for time off in September is probably workable. Showing up in August and asking for time off in September is not feasible. So my hope is that given the plan that I'm going to present to them, that they'll be amenable to it. And they won't say, I'm sorry, you've got a class, you'll be a certified.
Okay. All right. So anyways, oh my God, how did I hit mute? I want to see where that was. That is crazy. Hey, wait, hold on. Where would mute be?
Video, little camera picture.
Okay, say what you said. I hit mute by accident.
I said, this is one of my favorite bottles now.
Just so you know, Randy, as much as you want, I got.
I'm going to help Walker out a little bit so he doesn't have to take as much to.
Walker has some. I got some. For years, you'll be able to have some.
Well, good, because it is very nice stuff.
I agree. I feel that this bottle right here is honestly what whiskey tasted like on the frontier. This is as close to what you were drinking in the 1800s that you put on your covered wagon while you went out, whatever, and you whatever, and got sloshed around. I knew this was a little bit. There's an aspect of the frontier there with the grains, and now the stuff that won the awards for the best under 4-year whiskey was this Lillian Sinclair, and theirs was 2 years. Ours is almost 4 with the French oak stave dropped in. Now,
you can taste that French oak stave.
Have you opened that Dalton yet?
I have.
I
like it too. I like Lillian better.
I love that. Now, which one did you open though?
No, I have not opened the 5.5 year. I opened the 6 because I've got 3 6 years.
Yes. The 6 year was.
This is the one. Well, I mean, I've had plenty of those. I like it.
Yeah, the 6 year's really good, and we did that because it was close to where it was in the rick house. You can see Alan drill that barrel. He's like stuck in the corner. It picked up rain and wind, and it basically had the flavors on steroids. But if you drink that 5.5 year, because that's a 6.5 year, we just picked it the next, you know what I mean? The 6 is actually a 6.5, but the 5.5 year, it was something of it was a combination of changing in the bottle. Right. You got one, right, Walker?
Oh, he's got one though.
Okay.
He can hold me back.
So when you drink that, you'll open it and it goes between butterscotch and apricot. It is freaking like crazy what that one did. And the fact that when Sarah bought her thing was 500, yours I believe was 425. But hers was 500 because she actually pulled in the Scotchy Bourbon boys. I only had 3 of those Knob Creeks, and those that I only have 2 now. But one signed, and I'll probably eventually drink the other. But now on the Dalton that I got in there, she got one too. That 5.5 years. Now I've got only 4 left.
Wow.
So I released that to you guys because you wanted to join the Crystal Glencairn Club, and I really appreciate the support. I do.
Thank you.
But you got to think what whiskey we're going to do in late May, early June.
I thought this is not what I thought it was. Give me just a second.
All right, I really got to go so I can load this shit.
It's time. Yeah.
I'm gonna take
I've got a signed bottle of Knob Creek 120.
Who signed it?
All right, by Booker.
By Booker.
Looks like on the very center.
It is not signed by Booker. He just signed it by
Randy, say something.
Now it says Booker Noe.
There's such with a white off. That's my favorite. Honestly, that's my favorite pen for marking things.
Terrible.
Yeah, I can take it off in 5 seconds. That's a nice thing.
Well, that's
horrible.
Hey,
horrible.
That's like that Booker Noe signature is like my George T. Stagg.
It's filled with not stag.
Well, can you tell?
Yeah, we can.
No, wait. Look at this is. Hey, all I gotta say, Walker, is this is Baker's 13, and this is George T. Stagg. Look at the difference on the color. George T. Stagg should be dark like the 13.
I'm familiar.
What, you're filling up your 13 with
No.
He squeaks no.
Which I would have done the other night, but I was on text chat.
So I drank enough 2 years ago at the Kentucky Bourbon Festival of this, and I like it, but I think this is the first ever 18 they put out.
This is very dark.
That's
Oh,
rye.
that's a good one.
He shows a
It's a little
rye.
minty. It's a little minty. It's a good one.
As long as it's minty, I'll drink it.
You would like the Parker's. You would like the Parker's rye.
Do you think I'll
That
like
single
this?
What?
That's a
What
double
is
char.
that?
Turn it.
That looks what?
That's a double char. Yeah.
No, this is finished in orange Carrasco. Curacao. Curacao barrels.
Curacao?
Which
The
nobody
orange Curacao?
nobody liked, right?
I
Actually I use that for tastings, but what about this?
Turn it. 14.
That's this
What is
year. That's this year's.
Is it the same thing as this?
Looks like it.
It's finished in cognac. Yeah.
Yeah. Finished in cognac.
I
Yeah.
got that as my first ever win in the Ohio lottery.
I got that for standing in line at the Bourbon Festival.
Yeah, but that one came through, and I think it was $159.99, and I had to buy it. You know why?
It was your first ever win.
Yeah, I can't let that go. It's like, just because I didn't win cellar age, even though when me, Nash, and Rachel went for the tour, the cellar age was like, I got 2 bottles. I won. All right, guys, I got to end it. So I'm going to end it on YouTube first. I pulled out all these bottles there.
I got 6 bottles of the cellar age.
What?
I got the 2023 cellar age. I got 6 bottles, didn't I, Walker?
Oh God, yeah.
Hey, Walker, you can see it back there, right?
Yeah, I can.
That's Walker's 2023 that he after. Hey, Randy, I'll come over and drink. How many did you say you got?
You got 6.
I will drink 5 within a couple weeks for you.
They're all gone.
Did you
People
know?
wanted them.
Did you know that Walker got me the bottle and he gave me half of it, and he said, "Well, when you finish it, give me back the bottle, and then I'll switch you out with my other 2023 because he wanted to give me a whole bottle." And he saw me like what, 4 or 5 weeks later, and not thinking I'd be bringing an empty bottle, but I brought an empty bottle because that was some damn good stuff from 2020. 2024 is good, but 2023 is great.
Yeah.
Just like that first Russell's 13. Russell's 13, the first one was, oh my God, where did that come from? And then Russell's 13 after that has been good, but not great like that one. It's hard to make a great bourbon, isn't it?
Yeah. It's really hard to repeat it.
Yeah, for sure. So, Tiny, you're going to get a gift bag or a gift box, probably. This one and one of the signed ones.
Yeah, feel free. So I will try and make it down one time in April, and I'm going to try and make it down. I'm going to try and get down between April, May, and June. Well, you're going to be gone May what?
I'm planning on leaving around the 17th, but that doesn't mean that I won't come back here. I've got to negotiate with the housing folks. My phone's going to die in a minute, but I'm going to start leave probably between the 15th and the 17th.
Okay, so I'll try and get down there 2 more times. Did you talk to Roxy about the whole settle up so that at least besides the stuff you have, we're all settled up on the first initial thing on the barrel pick?
I'm really close. I have to finalize the numbers of what I paid for versus the stuff that we had on consignment, as it were.
Right.
And then this one, like we said, this is the signed bottle that I'm going to rehome to you. That's one of my favorites. I think you'll like it.
It's Knob Creek. And then do you want the bottle back?
No, this one I don't need back. This one will be fine.
So my
you
favorite
maybe
bottle of all time right now. Well, one is this Booker's right here. That Booker's it's Fred's batch, of
Yeah.
Booker's. It's called Fred Noe's batch or whatever. It was distillery release only, and Fred signed it. So it's his batch signed. I don't think I can open that. You know what I mean? And
This
then,
one's already open, so you don't have to worry about that.
well, I don't mind Fred signing things, but like the couple things I wanted him to sign, but this one here last year. So the first year, Baker's 13 came in a box. And Nash gave me half of his bottle in the box. So I shoved this 13 in the box because it fits. And this 13 is signed by Baker and Fred and Freddie. All three.
At the time, I only had one bottle of Baker's 13. It was already open. I was nervous about bringing open bottles. Next time, I'll either bring an unopened bottle, or I won't be nervous about bringing open bottles as long as it's in a Jim Beam bag.
Well, I bought 2 of these 13s. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
still, that's pretty cool that it's signed by Baker, Fred, and Freddie.
Very cool.
That is.
Very cool.
And it's-
one
and
of my other Knob Creeks is at my phone tab.
All right. I got to go.
All right, bye.
Hey, good podcast, guys.
Thank you. We enjoyed it. Yeah, I'm gonna go see him sometime after between the 18th of April and the 10th and probably the 10th of May.
Well, let me know. Maybe we can coincide.
Sounds good.
Well,
All right.
especially if you
Phil Crocker,
could
we
get a
said hello.
William LaRue Weller in between.
Well, I doubt I can, because
I know.
unless I get another vault invite. I've asked a lot of people, but you know how people are. They want $1,200 for them.
Yeah, no, I don't want. I want to. I'm glad that you got that for the vault. That was a really good deal.
Yeah, like I said, I've signed my wife up for it too. So I've spent like $2,600 just to get into the vault, be able to get that kind of stuff.
How does your wife approve?
She doesn't. She bitched at she showed me our QuickBooks where I spent $65,000 on whiskey last year.
But that's why you're a dentist.
Oh, I'm a college student.
Right, but you still have a practice and everything, right?
I do. I make half what I would if I were working in.
Half is better than none.
I was gonna say, but that's half for sleeping in. So
Yeah, and you
I'll
worked.
take that.
I mean, it's like you worked your whole life. I mean, it's not like, yeah, I don't spend quite that, Randy, but when I stopped, I would say I could tell because
Yeah.
right now it's spilling out. You know what I mean? And women don't like it when it spills out into their area.
Yeah. Oh Lord, my hallway is lined.
I was
I'm
there.
gonna take you.
No,
Oh yeah,
I was there. I saw
you-
your closet. I saw your office. I mean, your office is.
The only thing you didn't see was the pantry, I don't think.
Okay, I didn't. But at the same time, the couple bottles you put where your toothpaste was.
Yeah.
It hasn't gotten that bad. But I
do what?
I'm down here in the basement. You can see I'm up to. I was counting with the 2 barrel picks. I'm up to 975 bottles.
Yeah.
Now the barrel picks all that's different. That you could. So I'm probably up to 795 bottles, or probably 800 something.
I'm not counting my 2 barrels.
Right, I'm about 800 without the barrels.
I'd have to recount because I've been giving stuff away, selling stuff, drinking stuff. But
dude,
still think I'm
I just
9
keep
and
getting
11.
stuff.
I do too. I mean,
Should-
you see a deal and you got to get the deal.
Well, I'm not talking about deals. People just send me the shit.
Oh, well, nobody sends me shit. But
Well, with the podcast, it's like, can I send you this? Can I send you that? I'm like, I am open for whatever. Please send me 100 milliliters. I'm for any 200 milliliter or 100 milliliter. I'm all for it. That's what I want of whiskey. Whole
Yeah.
750 milliliter bottles, I can't drink them.
well, I will tell you what I'm going to do then. I'm going to, because I've got your address.
You see this one?
Yeah.
That's the cigar blend. I think
Hold on, I'm trying.
that's the one they made. That's the one that made this brand. That's the cigar blend. I want to say.
Like either one of those? Does it look like either one of those?
I'll tell you what the number is on it.
Oh, well, my number's way higher than yours. Yours probably 3.
No, it took a while. 89.
Okay, yeah. No, mine are 200 and something. 100 and something.
So 89 was the batch that put them on that was the batch.
Okay.
You
This is one of my favorite cigar blends right here.
Yeah, that was a good cigar blend. But that batch of Magnus, I traded that bottle, which was about half when I started, for the Michter's 2023 10-year. I was like,
Okay.
I'm like, I already got 2024. He's like, I really like that Michter's 20. And I'm like, I do too. He's like, I'll trade you for the cigar blend Magnus. And I'm just like, oh, yes, sir.
I've got 7 of the 20,
So
6 of the 23s.
So just a question.
Yeah.
I don't know how to ask this question.
Straight up, man.
Conservative or liberal leaning? I know you're in
Me?
school but then you're a dentist. I can't figure. I figure what I think, but I don't know.
I have worked in Congress as a congressional page for both sides, but that was also 45 years ago when the Democrats weren't what they are today.
Oh, you mean when the Democrats were what Republicans want now?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's like Bill Clinton. Everything Bill Clinton wanted, it's where we are as Republicans.
Right. But I'm talking even before Bill Clinton. I'm talking about 78.
No, I know. I understand. You're talking about Carter.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Basically.
that 78 is Carter.
Yeah,
Carter,
but
Ford, 76, 77, 78, Ford and Carter. And I mean, honestly, as a Republican, Ford really kind of fucking shit the bed.
Yeah.
He was like golfing half the time. And hitting people in the Jesus Christ.
I'll just tell you how I have voted Republican in every presidential election since 1968. And I did that in 3rd grade in school.
I have to say, I voted Democrat in 1980, but I didn't have a vote. It was before I knew. But after that, it's been like that.
I have voted Democrat in some of the state races.
Oh, I am open. Look, if a Democrat ever came across that was making sense, I'd vote for him. And that was not this year. There was no sense to. I don't think, it doesn't matter. I don't want to get into politics. I just want. So I have a group called. It's only for a select few people. Because it's where you can just. There's no. In my opinion, bourbon. If you would have said you were liberal or Republican, I don't care. I just wanted to know which way, because I think bourbon and whiskey basically is the bridge to people who have different thinking, where they can talk amongst themselves rationally. That's my opinion. I don't mind other people's thoughts, because everybody doesn't think alike, just like they don't like the same bourbons, just like they don't, you know what I mean? It's just you just don't want it to be crazy ass shit one way or another. If you don't want all, right wing think. I don't know how, neo-Nazis became Republicans. I have no idea, because that's just not our way of thinking. And I don't see how radical left thinking, became a little bit more mainstream, because that's not my way of thinking either. I'm way more in the middle. And it's just like, I just remember thinking about Clinton, how he was in the middle and how he did everything, and he worked with the Republicans and shit got done. Whereas, now, even though everybody, there's the Trump derangement syndrome, but at the same time, what he's trying to get across is the same shit that Clinton was getting across. I mean, it's just, he wanted border security. He wanted a version of Doge. It's just like,
no, Clinton wanted a version of Doge. I'm back.
What?
Thank you.
What?
Clinton wanted a version of Doge.
Yeah, he wanted to cut back bureaucracy. He talked about cutting back bureaucracy. I'll show you the videos.
He wanted to cut back the military and expand welfare, which he did.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he had other things.
What I would say is, like my
He was
dad,
a garbage human being as well.
the way my dad used to describe himself, and I think I'm getting that way.
Hey, Walker.
Yeah.
Hold on 1 sec. Do you want to invite to Tiny's stress relief page that's only going to have like 15, 20 people in it?
Sure.
Same thing, because it's just like, so every post I want to make, I don't make, and I put it in there.
Yeah.
I write the post, someone's saying something, I write the post, and then I stick it in there. So Rebecca and no. Oh my God, Wayne McBride are in there.
Oh, yeah.
I love them. Luke McBrayer, thank you. And I love Wayne.
I love them.
He's been saving me lately.
Wayne in particular, but really both of them, because honestly, I had so much fun with them on the bus tour, and before and after.
I'm going to end YouTube real quick, because my phone will probably die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, everybody on YouTube, thanks for coming in. We might get decent amount